this is Old Man PHP. I create PHP video tutorials for the old guys who want to learn a new skill and compete with the young crowd. Remember, you don't have to be old to learn from me. It's all the same. But I concentrate on the older guys because of a conversation I had with a friend of mine who wants to learn some new things. And I thought, hey, great idea. So let me teach the old guys how to get this done. All right, what I wanted to do is on some of remember the large video that I created, which happens to be this one right here, the cruise system. I added more fields and stuff, and we're going to talk about that in one of the other videos. It's going to be a little long, but we're going to do it all in one video, okay? So we were using PDO, remember PDO? PDO. That's a wonderful driver, right? It's you can read a database. It's so much easier, so more powerful. It can read several databases, not just MySQL. MySQL meaning MySQL like that, which happens to be this one right here. This is the MySQL database. So basically what I wanted to do is show you another way that you can connect to the database and select some fields from a table. But we're going to use something called MySQLI. I think I might have touched on this several videos ago. And we're going to be doing this, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to use the MySQL Connect, like that. And we're going to use MySQLI query, like to query a database, to query a table. I'm going to show you how that's done, okay? So here, let's get started. The MySQL fetch function, right, also fetches, let me just show you MySQL fetch array. Oops, daisy. That's not how you spell fetch. This fetches also the database. You're going to put it through an if statement, but we're going to see that in a second. But that function fetches a result, right? And it's like a row as an associated array, right? It's going to have like you're going to be able to get it from key and value like that. Oops, why is it that key and $val, that's in value, because it's going to be key and value pair, okay? We will specify what type of array that should be produced, right? Can be one of the following. We also use, in this particular statement, we also use stuff like, what is it? Let's put it in cap. We're going to say MySQLI underscore. This is the one we're going to use, right? That's that one for that for associated array, right? We also have MySQLI num. That gives you the index. You know when you, let's say you create an array. Let's say we called it ABC, right? Like this. And the way you get to that first one is by doing this. If you want to get to that second record on the array, that is, you do this because it's zero index. It starts with 0. So we also have another one that we have used, which is MySQLi. And that's called both, like that. MySQL both. That default uses for both. You can use it for index. You can use it for associated. Okay, so this is how we're going to do it. We're going to say, first of all, we're going to create the connection. It will be something like this: $my. This is only an array. I mean an array, a variable, and we're going to say MySQL underscore connect, like this. That's how it's done. And the connection, what we're going to do is, you can put this in the, let me just show you. You can put this in an array and then put the arrays inside there. But right now we're going right straight through. So we're going to say local host, right? Because that's what we use. Local host. And you know the username is root in a local host situation. And of course, I'm not going to have any passwords. So it will be something like this, just a little blank. Then you're going to have the name of the actual database, right? Which happens to be this one right here. Okay, so that's log user. I think that's what we call it, right? Log user. All right, and this is what's going to bring it in, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a query. Let's call it query. And we're going to do the selection. We're going to say select asterisk from, name of the table was, remember, temp table. If you want to see it again, I'll show it to you. Temp table right there. Temp table right there. So we're going to do this, right? Because we're connecting to it. Plus, we're going to run this. Then we're going to get that result. So we're going to be result equals MySQL underscore query. Remember I showed you that a few minutes ago. Then within here, we're going to put this information in. Don't forget to put in this other two. You need that one. That's got to be the first one, your first argument. So you put it in there, comma, and of course to query, you got to put this and then this right in here. That will get the results. Then you're going to run an if statement. You're going to say if you got something in there. If you do, that's fine. That's a true. So you're going to say $result. That's what I called it. Result. Maybe we should say results. I mean, it's more than one. Results, right? Then, of course, you're going to need a curly brace for all your logic that's going to go in there. And then we're going to say, if there is something in there, then I want you to loop through it and kind of print it out. So we're going to say something like while. Yes, we're using the while this time. And of course your curly brace, right? It's all the logic stuff. Now within here it says while this is true. So say $ROW, right? That's another variable that we created within the while loop. And then we're going to say MySQLI fetch array, like that. Let's put a little space here so we can, let's see, like that. And then within this function, we're going to put in dollar, right? Results. That's what we call it. Yes, we did. Comma. That will be the first one. Then we're going to say we're going to use that flag, right? MySQLI underscore associate, right? Did I spell that right? MySQL show date. All right, let's go here. Now we're gonna say echo. We're gonna say dollar row like this. How about if we do dot something? No, let's put a little space in between it, like that, and then say dollar row. Oops, daisy. It's got to be the square bracket. That's for arrays, right? Semic. Then we're gonna say echo. We're gonna say the print. Remember, because we want to look at it. Remember, prints out as an array, so we want to look at it. Print array. And we're gonna say dollar row, like that. I'm just gonna look up this. Oh, let's not forget that we could add this, so it'll look pretty. And then we're gonna cut and paste that over here. That should do the job. So we got, what is it? That would be, let's see, we have it open, we checking to see if there's something in there. If it is, you're gonna do this, right? And then we need to close that too. So we're gonna say MySQLI underscore close, and of course you put in this one right up here. That's the connection. You're closing the connection. It's a little different. This syntax is a little different, but it's still good. That's why I still like BDO no matter what. But this is a good way if you want to do a real quickie thing and you want to see it. Let's see. Hopefully this will work. Let's give it a shot. Oh, we can't give it a shot unless what the hell do we want? So we want first name, last name. So we'll say temp first name. What was it? Oh, yeah, yes. And then you're gonna say cut paste this. I'm going to change this to layers. See, this is a real quickie way of connecting to a database. As long as you got this information right here, the credential right here, this one. As long as you got that, you can select all of it and then do the query, find out something in it. If there's nothing in that database, or if it's like missing, then we can kind of put, let me see. Then we could say else. Let's say, sorry, no records. That's it. Kind of like that. So if you run it, let's go in there. Let's do it. There you go. See? I was able to check out. Let me show you. Let's go to browse. See? Terry, Ivan, Terry 2, Sam. The reason why it's doing this because I also added some stuff which I'm going to show you. There's another video that I already created, release soon, and how to add. Because before we only had, let me see, if you can remember, 1, 2, 3, all the way up to here, remember? No, all the way up to here, was it? Then I had the message. Then I added these guys in. And then I added these other ones in, and I show you that in one of the videos, how to add items or fields into your existing table. And when I will create a video on how to create the whole thing, like the actual database plus the records, plus the tables. Anyway, we already checked this out. You see how that works, right? See, look, got all of it. It's got all of it. I do, you know something? I'm going to put here. Maybe I should just take it out completely. And then I'll just say N of simple query. Just like that. Now we're going to start another one. We're going to start one that's a little, in this example, we'll use like the prepare statement with this myQuery, MySQLI. The way we did it in here, we're going to use this stuff, right? But we're going to add more stuff to it. So let's just do the, let me see, what can we use? You know something, man? We'll use these two guys. Let me get rid of all this. Start fresh. Put that in there, right? So we got the first one. We got this. On this particular one, let's see if we can do about looking for a specific name or something. So we'll do something like select that from there. Remember the word, where, and then you're gonna say temp ID equals, and then we're gonna put a question. Remember how we did this using the PDO and the placeholder and kind of went like this? Then I called it temp ID like that. Remember that? And then we did the binding. Well, this is going to be something similar, but it's going to be done different. And in this case, we're going to put a question mark like that. Then we're going to say $stmt. I always use that, by the way. MySQLI underscore the statement, that's a true one, initial, that means that you want to initialize. See how it's different? Maybe I should have left that other one. You know something, we're going to do that. Hold on one second. I'm going to get rid of all this. There you go. See how I got it back? The reason how you get it back is by using Command and Z. That gives you back the stuff. So what we're going to do here, we're going to say echo, this is the end of simple table query. Like that. I'm going to put some stars so you can see. Like this, and then we're going to add some stars over here. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to, you see what I just did there? There you go. Now I'm going to continue with what we were doing before. This way you can see it. That's why I put that there. Maybe I should put, let me see. Let's make it a little more like this. Give me a second. I need to take a sip of my coffee. I make it with buttermilk. Oh, it's salty. It's nice. It's cold. Oh, I should have warmed it up. Okay, let's see. We got do. That will be like this. That way you can, matter of fact, why don't we just do it like this? Let's do this like that. That was my my phone. Why? Semicolon. Then I'm gonna say, ooh, what should we do? What did I use for my connection? This one. So we're going to put this guy right in there. Let me see, that will be MySQL. Yeah, that's how that's done. You're calling, see, the way we're doing is that this is just hooking it up, right? And then this is your selection, but then this here is what initializes it. But you have to put in your connection right in there. So this function can do something with it, which would be to connect and open up. So then what happens is you go here, and then you say, okay, let me check. If it is not MySQLI underscore, see if there's a problem, right? Then I want to say prepare. I should put a little space here since I have space right here. Then we're going to add MySQL. Did I spell that right? We got the MySQL connection. We got the MySQL. Oops, no, spell right. This is how it's done. Remember, we've seen this before, but with something else. This would be statement in the prepare statement, and within the prepare statement, you're going to add this guy, and that's your first argument. And then you're going to add, of course, the select statement. We're going to do query, which is the select. Let me see, it does this, this does that, and then you're going to use that to query the information, because you're checking, you want to see if it's not that, then. So now we're going to say, if not, let's say if you couldn't get that connection, or we could say, should we echo SQL statement failed. How about that? Like this. Oops. Too much space. See, I know I like to leave like space like this because when you're doing, I mean, this is training. I mean, in the real world, live, I still do it, even though a lot of people don't. But I do. Now we're going to say else. Remember I told you you can actually put this over here, but I like it here because now what we're going to do is we're going to say, I want to check, let me see, who do we got here? Let's see, we got, who's the last guy? 43. We're going to check on Joy 43. I'm going to just move this up a bit. On Joy 43. So we'll say something like $ID. I could have just put that 18 automatically inside. It's a number, right? So when you prepare an SQL statement, you can insert a placeholder, which we have done already, which is this. And then we're going to connect those two together. We're going to use something called a bind under, let me see, bind underscore param. Yeah, it's different. It's just using, hey, bind this with this. That's all it is. I like the other one, which is more like a bind value. Much easier, but I mean, this is not bad. You know what I'm saying? So now we're going to say $. Remember, because this has become a the connection. So what we're going to do is we're going to say we want to bind those two, the thing with it, right? So we're going to say $STMT, because it is an object, and you're going to use a method called bind underscore param. Of course, you got your parentheses. Oopsie daisy. That would have given me error. See, because when you did this, you already initialized this. All this has become this. Now you could use the methods. And one of them is connects. So what we're going to do is connect this guy, the E, to the variable 18. So this is how it's done, which is weird. You're going to use S like this. You're going to say comma $. What is it called? ID. See, basically, this is the placeholder. But to do it, you don't say like, like this. You just do S like that. That is what this is, and you're combining this, which is the actual 18, into this that will be put in here once you execute. So we're going to execute, right? We're going to execute it now. We're going to say $stmt, and then we're going to say execute, like that. See, it's going to do it. And then, just to let you know that we're going to use a function to fetch the stuff now, because now you kind of ran this, but okay, fine, you did it, but what's the information? How I'm going to echo? How do I do this? Do I go like this and say, hey, what do I do? No, you got to fetch it, put it in the variable. So we're going to use the results again. Makes sense, right? Then we're going to say MySQLI underscore stmt underscore get underscore result. Told you, man, PHP got all this stuff. So now that you let me see, hopefully I spell that right. It's kind of weird, but this one is weird too, so that's okay then. So we're going to say this guy, like this. We're going to say MySQL, but now we're going to run the while loop again, because we want to see the other time. Kind of ran it over here on this one, but we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to say, matter of fact, I should just get it. What do you think? Okay, we'll do this. What the hell? Put it right in here. Now, remember, we're using array, so we're not going to do that. We want to do an associated array. That way I can get the value per. See, when you did an array and I did this, it does that. Pick that up. But this one gives you the key and value. So we'll say associated. And then this one, and it's funny because even though you can kind of keep this here too, you don't really need it because you're telling it right over here. So we got this, right? So let me see, we do this, we're gonna while loop the thing. That's the results, that's what we called it, result. That's very good, Now we're gonna have this, right? And now what I want to do is I want to print out, let's just print the ID. Yes, this is, we kind of could do this. Let's say $row $, like that. And a little bit up there, you see? Let's put a space. What do you think? I'll give you, can look at it better. But we do this like that. Much better to look at, right? So right here we're going to check out temp ID. So we don't really need this. Like this. Right, we're going to do that, and now we got one. This belongs to this one. That belongs to that one. That belongs to this one. That should work. But first, let's see if we get errors. If we get an error, well then we got an error. We'll fix it. Okay, so it did the first one. Let's go to the top. It did all this for the first one. It ends it right there. As you can, let's go down more. There it goes. And us. Let's put a little echo. Oops. do this, but all right. So remember, the first one does that. Now remember, in this particular one, we're looking for this one guy, which happens to be 18. What did I say? 18, or was it 43? I should have done. Let's do 43. Like that. Do I have 18? Let me see if I have an 18. Yeah, nope. Yeah, I do. A Jerry. Okay. So we're going to run it again. There you go. Okay, so that's 18, 19, 20, 21. And that's Jackman Miller, which is 22, the 23 goat. We got to the last 41, 43, and then it says end of a simple table, and boom, there it goes. We have that one guy. We used a placeholder, and we did it weird by using the bind underscore paren, and we use that S. S represents this guy, the question mark placeholder, and you're going to bind it with the ID of what you created and the number 43 in this case, and that's what you see. 43, right? 43 happens to be Sam and John. Sam and Jay, excuse me. Be joyful. There you go. So now that's it. That's like too easy way. If you would like me to go slowly, I mean, I put it in the description, just this piece right here if you like. But I mean, if you could take a look at it right now, I mean, I could cut this whole thing and I'll put it in the description so you have it. But if you want to take a moment to write this down, go, or you can stop and go, right? It's a video. Then you go like this, you go here, and boom, we did it. Well, we reached the end, and then if you enjoyed this video and you learned something, you learned the two basic way of using MySQLi. But see, MySQLi can only work with MySQL. That's it. It only it doesn't work on all the other stuff, but it works on this. PDO works on MySQL database, SQL database, Oracle. I mean, it works on a whole bunch of databases. This is why I like the PDO a lot better. Plus, it seems to be more. I mean, this is secure too, you know, but there's certain things that work so much better with PDO. Stick with PDO, it's better. Anyway, we reached the end, and if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and this will help my channel grow. And on the next video, we'll talk about more about, I was just thinking about, while I was doing this, the MySQLi, and create the JSON file from it. So until next time, a good night.